Welcome to East Meets West, and it's been a while now that we had our Dr. Michael Koku on our call here, and I have had so many reviews about his sessions and his input, his knowledge, and all the acronym that he creates. To help us to remember certain concept. But Dr. Michael, my good friend, and also, Dr. Michael started this LAMP Global community that have a lot of John Maxwell coaches and a lot of work that he's doing in reaching the youths, reaching women, reaching leaders around the world. And I really admire his drive and what he does, in reaching and this whole aspect of servant leadership that I could see in him living out. And despite he's a medical doctor, I must say here today, he is also an author. And he has challenged my mind that, oh my gosh, if somebody can write so many books in such a short time, then what am I waiting for? So yes, he's also one of my coaches. So we were just talking about him coaching me into writing my book. But and that's the type of person he is. And he's always willing to be on this program to share his knowledge. And again, the whole goal is to impact lives. And if it can help you with one thing in your life, then this program is serving its purpose. But do share this video, even send your comments or any questions that you may have for Dr. Michael in the comment section. He will gladly respond to you because that's him. He wants to add value. So let me stop talking as today we're going to talk about one of his book, and it's his 10th book we're discussing today. And he's going to share some of the things that are in this book. And I do want to encourage you to go get the book on Amazon and read it. It's about you, and as you could see, the name is about leading yourself, right? You are a leader, but how well do you lead yourself? I'm sure Dr. Michael is going to tell us more about that book and what's in it, and some of the key points that also could benefit you here today. So Dr. Michael, welcome, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my professor. And I call Dr. Shanti Persaud my professor because she's my professor and she's been someone that has inspired me a lot. And many times people think leadership is all about being loud. I love the gentle way that she operates, and she creates a lot of ripple effect. I remember one time in the Lamb Global community, she's one of our keynote speakers, and people really enjoyed that session. And it's such a very unique way that she serves, and we honored to have her on board as one of our great leaders in the Lamb Global community. Dr. Shanti, I'm so excited. Always great to be with you, and thank you. And actually, this is not the 10th book. This is my 12th book.
Oh.
It is the 10th book in less than 2 years, but this is number 12.
And soon number 13.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us what's like some of the key aspect of this book, maybe some of your motivation of writing the book, maybe even some of the people like me who aspire to write a book. What are some of your advice that you might have for them?
Wow. Well, I'm so excited about this book. And like I said, this is my book number 12, Leader, Lead Yourself. And the subtitle is Unlocking Your Power with Personal Leadership. And because personal leadership is the foundation of all leadership. First of all, what is my motivation for writing? I don't write to make sales. I write to create change. And because the a lot of people, they are thinking about when they write, they want to be a best-selling author, That's their motivation. My motivation is not to be a best-selling author. My motivation is to be a best-serving author, an author that serves people. Because anyone can be a best-selling author if you know marketing. If you hire a marketing agency and you give them a lot of money, that's what I find out. So your book can be a best-selling author. So I want to be a best-serving author. It's all about service. So that when people read my book, they will, it's like, just imagine you going to a restaurant and you sit down, the steward comes and they give you the menu, you look at the book and you choose what you want. And it doesn't matter what they say about the stuff. Oh, they may just, promote it and a lot of beautiful things. But after the food comes, the Englishman says the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So after they serve you the food, when you really enjoy the food, ooh, you can give a big tip. That is what I'm talking about. So I want anyone that handle any of my book, that after they have finished reading the book, oh, they just like, wow, this is so good. Now watch this. This book I'm talking about, I started a mastermind on my book last Saturday. And somebody came, she said, she confessed that she couldn't read the book. I said, why? You bought the book. Why didn't you read it? She said, she has the book in front of her in her place of work. One of our co-worker, she took the book away from her, that she has to go and buy another one. That is how valuable the book is. The person said, wow, I need this. Now, guess what? The person that bought the book couldn't read the book, but somebody else saw it and took it away. So she has to go and get another copy of this book. And I said that was hilarious, because you don't take something that doesn't connect with you. That person saw that, wow, this is personal leadership. So this is why I write. So I write to change lives. I write to serve people. I write to meet a felt need. And I believe anyone that is listening to me that, I want to be an author. See, becoming a best-selling author should not be the priority. It should be the outcome. Because don't worry about becoming a best-selling author. Be concerned about being the best serving author, an author that served the need of the people. So it's all about the people. It's all about them. So if you care about the people so much, you will put your best into this book writing. So lead yourself, unlocking your power with leadership. It's talking about personal leadership, which, like I said, is the foundation of all leadership. Because the crisis of our time is people finding themselves in leadership position and they don't know how to lead. I coach leaders, I coach great leaders, and I realized that one of the things that people just find that, I mean, they just happen to find themselves in a position and they're like, where do I go from here? And a lot of people are caught up with second guessing themselves and like imposter syndrome and all that. But this book is an answer to that question that everyone is asking their leader. Everyone wish the leader knows how to lead themselves. Now, Dr. Shanti, I want to ask you a question. Now, let's say somebody come to visit you, a friend that you've not seen for many years, and you have a beautiful car that you just bought. Now, what would be the first thing that you would think about before giving your friend the car key? What are you interested in knowing about that friend? Before maybe the friend said, please, I want to go to the mall. Can I just drive your car? It's obvious that maybe the person came through Uber. He doesn't came with his own car. So what would be your concern about giving the car key to your friend?
I would think first is, do they have the experience to drive?
If they have experience to drive. Oh, I love that. That means, I mean, if someone doesn't know how to drive, why give you my car key? This car is expensive. I don't want it to be a wreck going somewhere to happen. This is it. And you got the answer. This is what is happening. People are being given car keys and they don't know how to drive. This is what leadership is all about. People are being given a leadership position and they don't know how to lead. And this is the crisis. And when people doesn't know how to lead, you know what it will result to? Manipulation, coercion, and they begin to lead by fear, by force. Someone said, nothing done by force ever stays in the soul. The only thing that stays in the soul is something done by love. So, and this is why I wrote this book. This book contains the 10 pillars, 10 pillars, transformative pillars of personal leadership. And guess what? It's an acronym called leadership. I mean, so it's it's all my books. I mean, it's all acronym. The last book that I wrote on mentorship advantage, the acronym is mentorship. Wrote a book on dream. The acronym is dream. Live your dream is dream. So because I like to give people something that they can remember. Because you can apply something that you don't remember. So my passion is to simplify knowledge and put it in a simple form. So to bring something that is complex, give it to people in a simple form. Yeah. So this is what this book is all about. Yeah.
See, I do know, and that's what I admire too about you, that you make it very simple and easy to remember.
Yeah.
And, having something, the acronyms help with remembering things. But I do like what you said about writing the book and the idea, many times the intention behind what you're doing is important to look at.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether you're writing the book, whether you're leading a team, what is your intention? Is it to be liked? Is it that you get praise? What are your intention in doing things? And I love that you said, about serving. And so when you write, it's about serving instead of just, making money per se. And again, you come back to the value system of impacting lives. What you do, it's about impacting lives. And so I love that. And so are you going to tell us?
And Dr. Shanti, sorry to interrupt you, and to let you know how real this is. I don't get royalty for any of my book. I know people are shocked when I say it. I don't get any royalty for writing books. I went to Georgia for a leadership retreat last year, and they bought 54 copies of my book. Guess where the money went to? The money went to a scholarship fund for 9 medical students in my alma mater where I graduated from. These students were about to be kicked out from school. And we used the money from the books, all the money, to finance their medical education. And the good news is they just had their exam early this year. They all passed. One of them is in his final year, will be graduating as a medical doctor. And this year, just 2 months ago, we just renewed the scholarship for 7 of them. 2 of them got a new scholarship. So the 7 of them, we give them another year's scholarship. That is what all these projects, we have global projects that we're funding. So any purchase of this book, any proceed, it goes into that. So some of them, we have a breakdown of in percentage. Some of the money comes back. So we have a fund that comes back. So that fund we use to do more writing projects. But most of the stuff goes into financing global projects. Apart from people being on scholarship, we have someone that is a medical doctor. She went through rehabilitation. So we were able to get her through the drug program. She's now drug-free, clean and healthy. So there are so many global initiatives that we do. So that's why I don't get royalty, so that I can keep writing. Because my motivation, I want to keep it pure. I'm not against any author getting royalty. That's not what it's all about. Because my first 2 books, I got royalty for the book. Then after my first 2 books, I was 20 years without writing any book because I realized that my motive was bad. I want to make money. But now, after 20 years of not writing, and I wrote 10 new books in less than 2 years, I made a commitment that I'm not going to take any royalty. All I need is loyalty to keep writing. That's what I have now.
And I
Yeah.
admire your heart. And as
Yeah.
I said, it's all, I see servant leadership in you and what you
Mm,
demonstrate. And so
mm.
thank you for all that you're doing.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So you want us to dive into the book?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit of some of those 10 areas that you're speaking about.
Okay. Before we talk about the 10 areas, first of all, I want to give some context. I want to give some context. When we talk about personal leadership, what is really all about? You know, there was an English philosopher, an author that said something. He said, the only corner of the world, there's one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that is your own self. You see, the crisis that we have in personal leadership is this. Because personal leadership is the process of keeping your vision. That's what Stephen Covey said. Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said personal leadership is the process of keeping your vision and values before you and aligning your life to be congruent. That means to be in harmony, in agreement with them. That's what personal leadership is all about. So it is leading yourself first before you lead others. So to lead yourself, you need to master your thoughts. You need to discipline your behavior, align with your values, and grow consistently so that when others follow you, they know they are following someone authentic. Because authenticity is the new uh, influence in the 21st century. People are not looking for a perfect leader, they are looking for an authentic leader. So, personal leadership, therefore, is not a practice, it's a lifestyle. It's not a moment, it's a movement. So, this is something I want every leader to understand. And one of the things that we got is this. When I was doing the global book launch, somebody said she never knew that she's a leader. She never saw leadership this way before. She said she thought, I mean, this is an HR specialist that work in Southfield, Michigan. She said she thought she need to have a ton of titles and ton of degrees for her to be a leader. So she bought this book. She was really encouraged that, wow, so she can lead herself before she can lead others. So the real criterion for leadership is ability to lead yourself first before you lead others. And this is how I started this book. I started this book by sharing the story of Mahatma Gandhi, how a woman brought a son that has a sweet tooth. The son loved to eat a lot of sugar. So the woman had to walk a long distance to see Gandhi. And he said, Bapu, Bapu means father. He said, my son eats a lot of sugar. Can you tell him to stop eating sugar? Guess what Gandhi did? Gandhi did not go into a teaching moment and start teaching and start lecturing and start giving instruction. He taught for a while and he told the mother that, can you bring your son back in 2 weeks? I mean, the mom was surprised that I thought you're going to have an answer. So the mom left and came back in 2 weeks. She has to walk long distance through the sun and come back again. So when the mom came in 2 weeks, Gandhi looked the boy in the face. He said, stop eating sugar. It's not good for your health. The woman's like, why can't you say this 2 weeks ago? I have to call back for this. Then Gandhi now whispered to the woman's ear. He said, I can't say this 2 weeks ago because I myself, I was still eating sugar then. So what do we have here? So this is why Gandhi really said something. He said, an ounce of practice is better than tons of preaching. That you have to be the change that you want in the world. So he gave integrity before instruction. And this is what personal leadership is all about. It's not wearing a mask, it's not a facade. It is ability to lead yourself first. You see, many people they try to seek influence over others. But real influence doesn't begin with others. Real influence begins with what I call tech. It begins with you having influence over your time, your emotions, your character, and your habits. That's where influence begins. So when you need to have influence over your time, over your emotions, over your character, and over your habits. That is where real influence starts from. Now, let me give another context to this book. And let me give you what I call a mathematical metaphor. So there are three kinds of people in the world. We have 0, we have 1, and we have multipliers. So what does the 0 people look like? You see, when the 0 people comes into your life, so let's say you happen to be number 10 or 100. So 0 multiplied by 10 or 100 is what? What?
0.
0. That's what they do. So these are the people that we call value erasers. So that's what the 0 people does. So when you hang out with this 0, they cancel your value. They erase every value that you have. So that's the 0 people. So we call them value erasers. The second category of people are 1. Don't forget, we're giving a mathematical metaphor for understanding leadership, because if numbers could talk, they can teach just leadership. So I'm using numbers to teach leadership. So we got 0. So let's look at the 1 people. The 1 people, one thing about the 1 people is, so let's say you are 10 or 100. So 1 multiplied by 10 or 100, we give you what? 10 or 100. So these people, they are not like the 0 people. They don't hurt you. They don't cancel you. But guess what? They don't hurt to you. They leave you the same way you are. These are the people we call the status quo keepers. They leave you unchanged. They don't add. They don't take away from you. So the question is, what do you do with the 0 people? You let them go. Just let them go away from your life. So what do you do with the 1 people? You let them grow. They need to grow from 1. They need to upgrade to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. So we've talked about the 4 set of people, the 0 and the 1. So there's a group that we are yet to talk about. And those are the people we call the multipliers. The multipliers begin from the number 2. You know, we said that the 1 people, we need to let them grow. So we want the 1 people to grow from 1 to 2. So multipliers begin from the number 2. The minimum number for multipliers is 2. So they are the 2x people. So we can have 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x. We got 100x people. We got 1,000x people. We got 1 million x. We got 1 billion x, 1 trillion x. There's no finishing line for the X people. This is why I wrote this book. These 10 pillars shows how to be a multiplier.
I love that.
So that's it. Because I just created the context, because context shape content. Persaud, Senge, said something. He said, the meaning of any event is not determined by the event itself, but by the context in which it is placed. So if I just tell you the 10 pillars, you won't understand until I give you the context of that mathematical metaphor. And that's why Stephen Covey said, the context in which we live become the lens through which we see the world. So I want people to see the 10 pillars through this context, because context shape content. So you can't just be content with the content without the context. The context is what makes us to appreciate the content. So this is why I started in chapter 2 by giving the mathematical metaphor. So now that people know what 0 is all about, they know, oh, I don't want to be a 0. They know what 1 is all about. I don't want to be a 1. Now, what do you want to be? You want to be a multiplier. Every true person want to be a multiplier. So the question is, how do you become a multiplier? You can only become a multiplier by mastering the 10 pillars of personal leadership. Now, so this is why the subtitle talks about unlocking your power. So that power is the power to influence others. So we can unlock the power to influence others through our personal leadership. So let me give you the 10 pillars. Like I said, these 10 pillars is in an acronym called leadership. Now, this is why the subtitle means unlocking. So it is not just like a face, it's a circle. So that means it's something that you have to do daily because you want to move from 2x to 3x to 10x to 100x. So that means the more you unlock your power, the more you increase your ability to multiply others. So that's why there's no limit to being a multiplier. There's no limit. You are the one that determines how far can you go. And I don't want people to be asking the question, how long will it take? How long? No, that is a goal mindset. I want to have a growth mindset. How far can I go? So how far can you go can take you from 2x to a billion x. But it is an ongoing thing. Leadership is not a one-time education. It's a lifetime education that requires utmost dedication. So these are the 10 pillars. The first one is, like I said, we're looking at the alphabet leadership. The first one is L, learn continuously. Learn continuously. The second one is E, the alphabet E, exercise self-discipline. Exercise self-discipline. The next alphabet is A, act with accountability. Act with accountability. The next alphabet is D, demonstrate emotional intelligence. Demonstrate emotional intelligence. The next alphabet is E, embrace purpose and passion. Embrace purpose and passion. The next one is R, reflect and realign regularly. Reflect and realign regularly. The next alphabet is X, set clear and stretching goals. Set clear and stretching goals. The next alphabet is H, harness your inner motivation. Harness your inner motivation. The next alphabet is I, inspire yourself first. Inspire yourself first. And the last alphabet is P, persevere through challenges. Persevere through challenges. So these are the 10 transformative pillars of personal leadership. And these are not theory. These are not philosophies. These are life. I tell you, it took me a while for me to come up with these frameworks, to have this. And even though I knew that I have a mandate to write this book, I have to go on a journey to become this book. And if you know me very well, like I said in my book, this is not a book, this is not a map, this is a mirror. Because one thing about leaders is we love spotlight, but we don't like the mirror. The mirror shows us who we are. So this book is a mirror. This book is not a plan, it's a mirror. And I will tell you something, Dr. Shanti, I look at this thing every morning. before my daily discipline, there's some things I do daily. I read books every day. I don't want to tell people how many books I read. I don't want to intimidate anyone. Yeah, because before I tell you how many books I'm reading, I would like you to know that I was struggling with reading. After I left medical school, I was diligent when I was in medical school. But after life happens, I was distracted. I was inconsistent. So the first alphabet is obvious. Learn continuously because there's no end to learning. There's no end to learning. If you want to lead yourself first, you have to learn continuously. Never stop growing. Never stop developing yourself. Because learning is not something that we just do once and we're done with it. No, learning is what we have to be doing continuously. We have to learn from now till when we're ready to leave this heart. To the rest of it, he was found dead with books on his bed. I mean, every great mind must be fed. Just like you feeding yourself, you need to feed your mind. That's what learning is all about, is feeding your mind with fresh fact, with fresh stuff every day. So you can lead yourself well until you learn continuously. So this way, I don't know if you have a question, because I can go on and on and on.
I'm just thinking that, I know we cannot cover the whole book in this session, and that's not
Yeah.
the idea. The idea is also for you to get the book. And
Yes.
for people, listening that, I just keep thinking that it's something that we kept singing over and over on leadership. First person to lead is yourself. And the hardest person
Yes. Yeah.
to lead is yourself.
Yes.
And so, those are some of the thoughts that are coming to me as you're speaking. But this whole aspect of, continuous learning and learning, I just keep reflecting on, there's so many people that, reached a point in their life and then realized that, what, I've stopped learning. And I've not done any reading per se, because sometimes many people believe that learning means going to the university and get a degree, or something along that line academically. But knowing that learning takes many different formats, and
Yeah.
continuously learning, are you intentionally like putting yourself in places and experiences, to learn? That part of it is something, I think we've been stressing on this program over and over, because it's a leadership development program. And this book is all about that, how to start
Yeah.
leading yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that we cannot cover everything, but
Yeah, yeah, but you know what? I love the line of thoughts that you just bring now. Let me just address this. You see, when we go to school, schooling only gets us literate. That's the purpose of schooling, is to get us to be literate. But it is our commitment to literatures that determines our utmost in life. Elon Musk, he had a bachelor's in University of Pennsylvania with economics and physics. When he wanted to start SpaceX, they didn't have a chief engineer. They couldn't get someone. So he became the chief engineer, and they challenged him. They said, wow, you don't have this. He said, well, I have a background in physics. He taught himself rocket science. People always say something, it's not a rocket science. But we talk about rocket science. He wake up 2 a.m. to teach himself, to learn. Now watch this. Formal education prepares you for a career, but informal education prepares you for life. So people are being prepared for career. That's why most college degrees, they expire after 5 years of graduation, because new things are coming out. That's why many great companies, they have a development and training department, because listen, new things, knowledge is increasing. So therefore, Learning continuously is no longer an option in a world where there's an exponential innovation. Listen, I was trained as a medical doctor, but that's not what I'm doing now. Now, and let me help people. Someone may be looking at me and this is it. I used to have problem with my reading. I'm a kind of person that I will hold a book, but I won't read it. And the book will be with me for weeks, months, and I won't read the book. And I know it's not good, but I was just stuck. So I want to help as many people that used to be like me that was just stuck. And a lot of people, they really want to read. There's a concept called HAP, always have a book. I obey that concept. I always have a book, but I don't always read the book. Until I started going to my barber shop. My barber is from Vietnam. So my barber will see the same book all this while with me. As initially, he wasn't saying nothing. But later on, he would just see me with the same book and he would ask me a question. I used to read this book. And it's so hurting when he asked that question because I didn't pay him to remind me of my sin. I paid him to cut my hair. So why are you in my business? But God was using this barber to wake me up, the giant in me up. So the barber week asked again, another 2 weeks, because I see him twice a month. I used to read in this book. Then one day I decided to keep the barber quiet. That this barber, you troubling me so much. I don't want to change you because you're the only one that knows how to cut my hair the way I like it. You make me feel good. But you don't make me feel good when you talk about my book. That's okay. I like the cutting of the hair part. I want to feel good by the way you cut my hair. But this other part, I need to do something about it. So what did I do? I didn't finish the book. I took a different book. Because I want to solve that problem. So when I got there, the Baba saw a different book and he kept quiet. I was so happy. I said, wow. But somebody was not excited. That's my conscience. My conscience began to trouble me that you are a fraud. I said, I'm not a fraud. I didn't say nothing. Say you don't have to say anything, but you did something. You shut the Baba down. You can't shut me down. So the Baba was used to wake up my conscience. And that's why I said, no, I need to change. And for a long time, I couldn't really get a system for reading. It took me a while to really get a good system for reading. And I was able to develop that system late 2023. Then I call it SOA. And I have shared that system. If I share the system in my book, the system that I use for reading. Because if you want to win once, all you need is a goal. But James Clear said, if you want to win repeatedly, you need a system. And this is what I use for reading. And I can tell you, I go from someone that was struggling reading one book. I now read 11 books every day. I don't finish those 11 books. I read from 11 books. So one of those books that I'm reading, I have a primary book I'm reading now. I spend 30 minutes on the book. Then the other books, the 10 other books, I spend 10 minutes on each of them. So I spend 2 hours, 10 minutes reading 11 books every day. So, but I shared the system that I'm using for reading. You can get it when you buy this book. It's called the SOA concept, like an eagle that soars. So there's no time I will have shared it, and I was in the podcast last week. I shared it. And but now I don't think maybe we want to come for part 2. I'll share it. It's up to you.
I know we're out of time, and as I said, it's also, I love the idea of leading yourself, and it is a big thing right now. And
Yeah.
we see this in many interactions, in relationships, whether at work, personal lives,
Yeah.
how people are leading themselves. You see it on the road, and people are driving, how are they leading themselves? And the decisions that you're making,
Yeah.
as John Maxwell said, it also makes you, the choices that you make is making you.
Yeah.
And so leading yourself starts, and I love the leadership acronym of the idea of the things that are covered there. But to get more on each one of it, you will have to get the book and go
Yeah.
through it. And even, as you read the book and you find that what did Dr. Michael mean here? What if this? What if that? Whatever you would be
And the book is so
wrestling
simple
with.
because yeah, the book is so simple, Dr. Shanti. All the books, they have my own personal stories. I mean, all the 10 pillars, I shared my own. I mean, I was really vulnerable. Like I said, the story that I just shared now, there's so many stories there that will really encourage people because you see, the goal of this book is not to impress anyone. Like I said, it was a journey for me. And but I found something that I realized that the world needs. I mean, and the good thing about this, Dr. Shanti, that this book is not just for adults, it's for old and young. I wish little kids in middle school can grasp this concept. I mean, they can teach them early. Because when people know how to lead themselves, there's a little girl, 8 year old. She was coming from church with her parents. Her name is Kelly. So, and then the parent, they were just having a conversation. And she told the parent, he said, Mom, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be like that man. They said, which man? He now referred to the pastor in the church. Oh, I said, oh, that means Kelly, you want to be a pastor? He said, no. He said, then why do you want to be like him? Because I want to tell everybody what to do. Because she saw the pastor in church, she tell everybody to sit down, they sit down, to stand up, they stand up, to open the song book, they open it. I mean, he was just telling everybody what to do. So Kelly wanted and many people think that leadership is telling everybody what to do. But that's not what leadership is all about. Leadership is not telling everybody what to do. Leadership is leading yourself first. I mean, Ken Blanchard really said something. He mentioned something about the current that in today's world that he said the greatest influence is I mean it's not I said it's a leadership is not all about authority. It's all about influence. So you need to realize that people are really they wish their leaders know how to lead themselves. The world needs, people that are grounded, guided, and growing leaders. That means grounded leaders that are stable and resilient, growing through continuous self-awareness, and are committed to learning continuously while guiding others with a clear vision and authentic communication. That's the kind of, I call them the 3G leaders: grounded, guided, and growing leaders. That's what the world needs now. Hmm.
Yeah. And, I really love that you bring out this point of leading yourself.
Yeah.
And, I think honestly, this is not me saying this because you're my friend or, you've done so much things also to impact in my life and all that. But I do, listening to the things, I did bought the book too. So I will be going through it too. But, this whole aspect, your tech, I am sure you're going to find many acronym in this book.
Yeah. I mean, the book is full of so many.
Understand different the content that is coming out and the context of it too, that you understand what you're reading. So I do encourage you as one of your study book that you should be every person, great person, influential people. I heard all of them said the same thing. You must have a book that you're reading. You must be reading all the time. So I do recommend getting this book, especially a
Yeah.
starting ground of developing yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
also it says, Dr. Michael said it's a mirror. And for me, when I think of mirror, is asking myself when I read, how is this reflecting in my life? How
Mm.
am I showing up when I'm at work? How do I show up when I'm, at home? How do I show up when I'm in this organization or I'm this group, I'm with this team, I'm whoever? How am I showing up when I talk about leading myself, maybe my emotions, my character, my habits. How am I showing up? How am I showing up in, do I set goals? Do I focus? Do I, embrace purpose per se? What is my purpose? Did I figure that out? And reflect as you read, reflect by asking yourself questions. How is
Yeah.
this showing up for me? And then if it's not where you like it to be, then take action. Do something about it. Some little thing, go do about it. And I'm sure Dr. Michael would give you some thoughts to his
Yeah.
life in that book there. I'm not
Yeah.
saying go do like what he did, and
Mm.
we're not the same, but at the same time, look at maybe something out of it that might click in your brain to go do something. And if
Yeah.
you're not still sure, you're free to reach out to Dr. Michael or myself.
Mm.
If you would like to ask a question, do that so that you can move. As he said, the goal is to
Mm.
get you unstuck and
Yeah.
wherever you're at, that we can help you take a step forward and,
Mm.
keep building from there on. So,
Wow.
Michael,
Wow.
any final word before we close?
Well, the final word, as I was just listening to you, Dr. Shanti, and I was just talking about what does leader lead yourself is all about. You see, I wrote my first book when I was in medical school in November 2020. No, November 2000. It was a small book. This is it. It was a booklet. That's the first book that I wrote there. That was 25 years ago. And this is my second book in September 2003. But guess what? For 20 years, I never wrote a single book. Now, of course, I wasn't leading myself the way I should. I wasn't demonstrating personal leadership the way I should. But when I decided to step up from 2023, that was about 2 years ago, to this day, I wrote 10 new books. 10 new books came out. Listen, I was carrying all this. This is the 2.0 of the first one. These are all the new books that came. All these books were already in me, but because there was no personal leadership, I was depriving the world of all this book. I just want to show people that when you don't lead yourself well, you robbing the world of product. Now, because I started writing books, and you the one, Dr. Shanti, that actually came to me that, can I share my secret? And I said, okay, instead of just sharing with you, let's start an authors forum. May 2024, last year, we launched authors forum, hosted by the Lamb Global Community. Guess what, Dr. Shanti? Many people have been inspired through the authors forum. This is July 2025. Many people have wrote their new book. I mean, that was the good news. So when we lead ourselves first, other peoples have permission to lead themselves. So this is how you unlock your power to influence others. It's not influenced by manipulation. It is influenced by inspiration, because everyone needs inspiration to fulfill their aspiration. And without inspiration, every dream will suffer expiration. So this is what personal leadership is all about. So when you unlock your power through personal leadership, a lot of people will be stimulated. They will be inspired to do the same. So this is what it's all about. So when you become better, everybody around you become better. Your children. My wife now, she came to me, Dr. Shanti. She said she's going to write 3 books because she saw her husband wrote 10 new books in less than 2 years. My wife is doing what she couldn't do before now. My wife is writing articles. Women Are Blessed. She wrote articles. The last one that we did, Blaze of Change, she's not doing that before because she saw me stepped up. She's stepping up. So this is what happened. This book, I call it the 3R concept, is real, raw, and revolutionary. So when you read this book and begin to put it into application, you're going to revolutionize every person that ever come with you. They'll realize that, wow, they're going to come alive because you came alive.
Yep, I love that. And that's the example that we can, set, or I would just say help people to move from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself to lead yourself well.
Yeah.
And, purpose behind why you're doing what you're doing. The intentions. So thank you so much, Dr. Michael.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here
with us. And I do encourage our viewers and those, who are out there, share this with somebody that can benefit from it. And also go get the book. And as I said, the idea of getting the book is for you to keep growing yourself, and the importance of keep developing yourself. Learning, learning, learning. And not just learn, go apply the thing and become a multiplier in the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah.
See you in our next session. And again, ask any question too that you may have. Looking forward to your interaction. Thank you again, Dr. Michael.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.